Hi guys, Chris here back with the Mi Notebook Pro. This is the GTX model, so it has the 1050 Max Q. And in my video I showed you that the temperatures, they got up to 98 degrees. Now there's been a lot of comments flying around left and right. A few of them are a little bit silly, accusing me of trying to make the system look bad, overheating, that I've got a faulty unit. It always seems to be the case with the Xiaomi fanboys, doesn't it? So whenever I have a problem with one of their products, it's immediately my fault or it's a faulty unit. It's really interesting to see. But what I have discovered is this right here. So what I'm showing you now is the default power limits. Now, I never change this in my reviews unless I state otherwise. So I always review everything as stock. The same goes for phones. So I don't have any custom ROMs. I don't apply any fixes. I use it as it is out of the box because little Johnny will get this. He'll download his Fortnite game and he'll start to play it. And then it'll reach 98 degrees, overheat, and get really, really hot. So what I found out is this. So the default power limit, the short power limit, this is power limit 1, 25 watts. Now, that's actually higher. This is the TDP up setting that they have set Xiaomi for some reason in the BIOS. So instead of, this should actually be 15. And I'm going to set it to 15 now because 15 is the default value that we have on the first generation model. So why they have increased this, obviously they want to boost the CPU performance, because they've probably seen that a lot of us, like I showed in my videos of the first model, are increasing the TDP to get it to run like the 7th generation i7 7700 HQ. So that's why they have probably done that, which I feel is an error really, because we saw that CPU, it got up to 98 degrees, so smoking hot. And this value as well should actually be 44. So I'm going to change this. This is using Intel's Extreme Tuning Utility. It's the only setting we can really tweak here because we don't have any access to the voltage controls here. So hopefully one of those Russian guys is going to figure out how to do this without bricking the BIOS and killing systems. So hopefully they can apply that patch again to enable access to this, because if we can undervolt, you can normally undervolt by 0.090 and that will reduce temperatures again because less voltage, less power, and less heat is going to be generated. Okay, so stock values there. There were a couple other things that people wanted to know as well in the comments. So I just wanted to point out Steam here. Someone asked, show us the max download speeds from the wireless. So 38 megabytes per second peak. It always hovered really around that figure. So very good wireless. It's the Intel 8265, the chipset. Not the fastest out there now. I was really hoping that they would have gone for the new 9000 series, which has Bluetooth 5 and it's gigabit wireless AC, but this one isn't quite as fast. So maximum speeds will be about 440 megabits per second if you do a file transfer test. So it's not dependent on the actual network. So I've got a 300 megabit fiber line here. The other question was to do with the screen. How do I know it's the same original panel? Well, that is pretty obvious because you look at the hardware ID of the panel. And you can also use a tool like HW Info here, which I have loaded up. So HW Info as well, that's where it reports also on, you can see the power limits. Well, I've changed them now, of course, from the default there. But I just show you that monitor, exactly the same as the first monitor. The BOE, and then it is the 0747. So that, I've measured it. Again, you're looking at Adobe RGB of around 58% coverage. And then sRGB is about 89%, so it's not the greatest screen. It would be nice if they also used a 1440p screen in this. Anyway, I'm going to test the game again. I've just installed Call of Duty World War II, so I'll show you a different game here, and let's see now if it is going to reach 96 degrees. I believe it won't. Hopefully the temperatures now will be a little bit more under control. Alright, so I've already been gaming now for a few minutes, and you can see the temperatures are creeping up now in the 80s, but looking a little bit better.
Great shooting, Daniels.
And this game is currently on relatively high settings actually, so the full 1080p resolution, scaled to 1080p as well, the textures. And you can see it is dipping down though below 40 frames per second there, so I do need to lower the settings, I think.
What the hell was that all about? Get out there.
Okay, so I can see temperatures, they have peaked around 92 degrees. It's a little bit low at the moment, but it hasn't really helped out too much. Only really we're chopping off about 6 degrees, but that is at least something from lowering those power limits to something more normal for this CPU. I don't think I'm going to last too long on this game. And I can feel that keyboard is already getting hot. In fact, I'll just check with my thermal probe now, the surface of it just above the keyboard. And yeah, we're at 50.8 degrees there. So yes, it is clearly heating up quite a bit still. And wow, did I just get a kill? That's a freak fluke accident right there. So the thermals really are not great at all on this. I'm probably going to have to do a repaste. Now, if I do this, I will post a video on that and then the results of that, of course. So that was a CPU 94, and let's now check the GPU. The GPU exactly the same at 85 degrees, but it really doesn't help. So lowering that has really done absolutely nothing. Thanks for watching this video, and just a shame really that this did not really improve those thermals. I thought it would have a much bigger impact than that.